topics planned at all?
Not at all. Because how much we know each other, I didn't ask for anything.
So what have you like subconsciously got? Just nothing.
Nothing. Because it's just going to be completely free flow.
I don't know. It depends. How are we relating it to mental health?
How we've been lately. How you've been lately. Exposure.
Oh, you bastard!
Exposure.
Oh, you bastard!
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I can touch on that.
You said about
Probably-
redundancy.
I was going to say that's probably just because most people will go through it at this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, touch on that. Highs and lows in the gym, stuff like that.
Being homeless this time of year, be fucking horrible.
Mm.
Horrible though.
Do you know any homeless people?
Find one.
Go for hour and shit.
How's you getting a prosy on this?
No, I'll give you the suck though.
As Derek told you, both of them at the same time.
It's recording now, lads. So
Recording now.
Oh, is it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Scrap that part then.
It's fine. Shit. Are you doing timestamps, Derek?
I'm on it.
You're on it? Ready?
Whenever you are.
You sure?
Okay.
Are you two ready?
Yeah.
Because obviously we can just cut this part out, which is absolutely fine. Phones off?
Yeah, I'll tell you watch off as well.
Yeah. Phones on silent or whatever.
How'd you take your watch off?
And then I'll bang gas on the door. Cameras all in focus, Degs? Actually, you should go through them, play. Yeah?
Start.
Hi guys, welcome to the What's Happening podcast.
Shit.
Nate done that the other week, you know.
Did you?
Because I was like, how did I introduce it? And I nearly said it when I was doing it here. Right, if you two are ready, I'll start.
It's on you.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Mindful Podcast. And today I've got a very, very, very close friend of mine who was also the co-host last week. It is James Douglas.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, that was the most boring hello I've ever heard in my life. Try again.
Shit.
Yeah, shit.
It's hard being in this seat, it is.
To be fair, you did say that before.
Yeah.
Like,
Bear in mind, like I've done YouTube content. I've streamed for about 2 years. And there's just a different environment sitting.
but why is it different though? Because the camera's still on you. You're still essentially the main focus of attention. You just got less people watching.
Oh, I've still got 2 in the corner. So I don't know, I think it's like I'm about to be put under a microscope.
Yeah, you are. I'm
Do you know
about
what I
to
mean?
give you therapy
Yeah.
and expose you right now.
Not a lot of people on Facebook will come on and go, how's your day doing?
That's-
Let's expose you.
How's your day?
It's been good.
It's
We
been
went for
good.
breakfast, didn't
We
we?
have been for breakfast.
Yeah, we went for breakfast.
Yeah,
That was
if
nice.
anyone doesn't, have you ever been to Olivia's near the meat factory?
I have not.
Derek,
No.
you just slacking. It's a heavy coffee.
I hadn't been there before today, and it was quite nice.
It was good.
But taking a bit longer. for
Yeah,
the
but they
food.
were ram to be fair.
Yeah, it
But
was
you know, here's what it is. But I know we see each other every day. Well, don't see each other. Sorry, we speak every day. We see each other most days of the week. But what have you been up to for people that don't know and all that, so we can get this rolling?
Yeah, so I work in a decent sized agency, marketing, so in the city centre. So we've got clients like Hatfield's Jaguar Land Rover, Dave M. Robinson, Applied Nutrition. So yeah, work there 9 to 5. It's quite nice.
It's quite nice. Yeah, Jay says it's quite nice, but essentially, you get given like Jaguar Land Rovers. You get given Land Rovers. That's the only way to say it.
Yeah,
You get given them, and you go and drive that for the day, couple of days, and then just give it back.
yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's one of them, like stepping up from kind of what I've seen from everyone else and other agencies around Liverpool. Like my agency, I've fallen quite nicely into. We had one interview. I remember back towards the start of December last year. Applied for it on the whim, and it wasn't even for the position that I'm currently in. It was for a different one they were hiring for. So I applied for that. We had a phone call about 2 hours later. Tom, who's now my boss, phoned me, wants to know a bit more. Said your CV has really stood out. When are you available for a camera interview? We want to get on like a Teams or a Zoom call, and just kind of chat more about the role and see if you're the perfect fit. And we did that a week later, and then on the Teams call, Rich, who's my other boss, so just for context, Rich and Tom are both brothers. Rich is 38, Tom is 32, and they've, over the past 10 years, have set up this, what is called the Central Studio, creative agency. And Rich just outrightly said, listen, for the role that you've applied for, I don't think you fit in there, but I think you can fit in this other role. Now, I kind of find out at a later date that other role didn't exist. They created that role for me because of what I was able to bring to the table, and also people in the current agency couldn't handle or look after properly the corporate side of clients, and because I was quite corporate focused minded with a background in marketing, it kind of went hand in hand. So then we went for a second interview maybe 2 weeks later at Rope Walks. There's like a little cafe on Bold Street called Ropes. So we went in there, and I was the first interview of the day. They were interviewing 4 people for that position that day. I was the first one. They offered me on the spot. So yeah, when I say it's quite nice, it's quite nice because when you kind of literally 2 months in, wasn't it? It was February, I remember going. So I'm only 2 months into the job with these corporate clients, and I've gone to the top of the Shard and handled their whole marketing for the events that they ran at the top of the Shard. So when you get like 4 or 5 months down the line and you're just on another week of shooting, Range Rovers and Jaguars, it gets a bit like, okay, I'm bored now. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like you're gloating, I'm not going to lie.
I am.
Yeah, I feel like you're definitely gloating. So what happened to the other 3? I feel like you've never actually told me that.
They cancelled them. Yeah, he literally told me the day I started. And to be fair, Richard said it as like a joke, and I didn't process it at the time. That he said, "Oh, I'm gonna have to cancel all the other interviews." And then I remember asking him the first week, I was like, "Did you actually have other interviews lined up after me?" And he said, "Yeah, I cancelled them all," because we just had like an outright honest conversation. He was like, "Just tell me what you can do, tell me what you can't do, tell me what we need to work on if we were to hire you." And I was bluntly honest about everything. And I've not really looked back since. Like, it's been probably one of the best. Well, job-wise, I know we've obviously we've worked in McDonald's together for like, what, 4 years?
Nah, I started in Mackey's in October 2016. Yeah, and I left in June 2018.
So I was there a lot longer then, wasn't I? So I left in 2020 when I graduated from university.
Yeah. Have you just added me for another 2 years of your Mackey's career?
I thought so, yeah.
What?
Oh, well.
At least I know I was missed.
Yeah. So yeah, going from there to then the job that I had, which started off as marketing, but when I started that first like proper job outside the university, the day that I started, we all went back into lockdown. So I'd started the job straight out of university and then was in lockdown within, I think it was like the 4th of January or something, for like the next 3-4 months. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? Do I get any guidance? Like, there's no kind of, you are just in the deep end at that point. So nothing is like new to me, if that makes sense now. I'm not really like overwhelmed by a lot of stuff because I've already dealt with being pushed in the deep end, and you kind of just got to learn to swim. So it's the same with this, I'd started off in this job, and then they threw me into 2 of our corporate clients merged together, so they've got an office in St Helens, so I'm there 4 days a week working directly on their marketing structure and being a bit more reactive. So I kind of got put in there, and then in the nicest way possible, I just got left to my own devices. And you've just got to learn to swim. Like, it's as simple as that. If you start like hesitating and you're humming and ahhing, I feel like you've got to grasp and prove that you're worth hiring, or obviously sacking off the interviews for the other 3 people for them to reap the rewards and just go, yeah, we hired the right person there. Like, he's not crumbled under pressure, or he's at least tried. He may have got it wrong, but at least he's tried first, rather than, shying away from just being in an office full of other people that you don't know for 4 days a week.
That you need to be doing that though, don't you? Because like you said, if you come in and you start crumbling, you start crying or whatever, saying, "Oh, I can't do this, this is too hard," or whatever, you're getting legged.
No,
you're getting sacked.
No, 100%. And I think we've always said, and I think that's why, I know it took us a while to become friends, but I think over the years we've grown up, we've had that mindset a lot more together of, well, if you're struggling, deal with it.
Yeah.
Like there's certain levels where you can be sympathetic and compassionate to people struggling. But if people, we even mentioned it this morning, like if people are struggling to go to the gym, like I remember I was in the mindset of I got to a point where I was gymming so much, and then I kind of took a step back and went, I just don't have time to gym anymore. And then over the past 2 years, I've decided to sacrifice the 2 hours extra sleep I get every morning and wake up at a cushy 7:30. I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning. I'm in the gym by 6. I've done my workout, and then I go to work and I've got the evening free. Rather than before those 2 years, I was pretty much going, well, I don't have time to gym. I'm not going to fit it in there. Or I've had a bad day. I've now got to go work out. And it's just that mentality. It's like, well, you've got an issue. Find a solution.
That is it.
And that's it. And the solution is simple. Like, it's sacrificing small stuff. Like, not saying to anyone to sacrifice big mega tasks, you know what I mean? If it's going to include sums of money or something like that, then it takes a bit more thought process behind it. But for me, sacrificing 2 hours of sleep, which I know you still tell me off for, but sacrificing that 2 hours of sleep is fine by me, because I've got up, I've kind of essentially started my day as I mean to go on. Like, if I've had a good gym session, great. If I've had a mediocre gym session, which I've told you once or twice, so I've had a bit of a thing, but I don't let then that affect my day, because I'm like, I've got up, I've done my workout, let's go about my day. It's as simple as that. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't have that mindset of, I need to try and find a solution first to fix the issue before going on social media or complaining to people that my life sucks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because as you were saying that then, and like nowadays people don't seem to find them solutions. Sorry, I had something in my eye then. What's the quote where it's like, hard times create strong people create easy times create weak people. Did I get that right? I feel like we're in that easy times, weak people at the minute. Everything's easy. You want food, order. Even like if you want bevies, you can order bevies to your house now. You don't have to go up and get anywhere. Everything is always at a footstep away, at a handheld device away. But it's always, I can't be bothered. I'm not really feeling that. Oh, you want to be skinnier? Yeah, there's a waistband. Go and wear a waistband or wear them and walk around all day with it. But where you're saying about, you had to go and make them decisions. So I'm now going to sacrifice some sleep to be able to get up and go and do something, because that's what we need to be doing. We need to be more. I need to be more like that.
100%.
Like, to be honest,
I think that's not that. Obviously, I may be making that out as drastic as it actually was. Like, it's not a be all and end all. I had to sacrifice 2 hours of sleep to go to the gym. It's like, it's just having that mindset, and it always refers back to that video. I don't know if you've watched it, and it was like, it must be about 10 years old now, but there's a guy in America in a field, and he's got a bunch of college kids mixed, and he starts asking those questions.
Yeah, it's really good. That.
Yeah, take a step forward if you've never had to worry about a meal. Take a step forward if you've always had clothes on your back or your parents have got jobs. And he asks about 10 questions, and eventually then just says, each of those represents your position in life. Yeah. Now, the guys at the back there, and do you know what? At the time when this video did come out, it was predominantly black people who were at the back. And what he said after that was, they still have the same race to run.
Yeah.
They're just, you've got a head start, but they would still smoke you in a race. And it's like that, making that mind shift to, yes, something's wrong now, but there's always going to be somebody who's worse off. So I can make that change because I'm in a position to do so. It's easy to me, and I don't understand why some people make it difficult, because I know I'm in I've grown up in a nice family. I've got my own job. I've got my own car. There's no reason for me to sit and go, my life is difficult, when somebody probably has it a lot worse off, or someone's going to the gym at the same time as me but is walking there in this cold weather, and I'm driving in my car with the heat on. Do you know what I mean? So to me, I agree, because people in this that we know and in our today's world make it seem a lot more difficult than it needs to be. And in my opinion, it's someone is always going to be worse off than me but is doing what I want to do. So why shouldn't I do it?
The only answer I've got to that, and I'll always stick by my guns with it, people like to moan. People like to be in the shit because they don't have to do anything. That's
Yeah.
and people might get
Yeah.
offended by that, and if they do, then I'm sorry, but you're probably one of them people then. Because if you can be offended, then you're being honest. Going, I do that.
Yeah, I think, it's coming at it from two angles, isn't it? You know, you've always got to try and understand somebody else's perspective. And I think me now being in a relationship is something I've learned a lot. Like, Mill has opened my eyes in terms of understanding somebody else's, and more specifically, a woman's perspective on situations that I probably previously thought I didn't really care about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's always understanding another perspective, but at the same time, as you've said, realising that, well, you're just moaning for the sake of moaning, so stop moaning. It's as simple as that. So it's always trying to understand first and then give your opinion on it. And if your opinion is still stop moaning, then it's stop moaning. Like, and if you are offended by that, then there's two routes, isn't there? There's either try and identify why you're offended to that, and if there's a legitimate reason, there's a legitimate reason. Or if you are just offended by that statement, then you are part of somebody who needs to take a little look in the mirror and say, well, I can change this stuff. Am I going to choose to or not?
Yeah. I feel like we're just attacking people now with venting.
Yeah.
But you waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, how did that change your mindset, and how did that change your day-to-day life, how you felt, relationships with people? I feel like it all rolls into one once you start making changes.
It does. It's not easy. Like, 5 o'clock seems great. Some people wake up at 3 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's not easy to begin with. It's more of a case of sticking at it. That is, waking up at 5 o'clock's easy. My alarm goes off, I'm up. Like, I'm just one of them people. My alarm's off, I'm up. I'll roll around a little bit and then I'll get out of bed. And as soon as I'm out of bed and I've washed my face and I've had a cup of water, I'm fine. It's the determination to just keep going at it, especially when you're having such a shit period in time. And I think that routine and really sticking to a routine is what makes, as you said, what makes someone's character. That's how it makes you feel good. Do you know what I mean? There's been days, especially now with it going dark and it's a lot more cold outside, I'll get to the gym and I'll be like, oh, I'm cold, I'm tired, I don't really want to be here. And then I've had the best session ever. Like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I said to you that shoulder session was absolutely amazing. But I remember being so tired that day, and the gym had closed down half the section, so there wasn't that many machines, and my usual routine was just disrupted, and I was like, I don't really want to be here, and it ended up being one of the best sessions I've had all year. So it's the determination to stick to the routine and constantly do it, even on the days that you don't, is what makes it worth it. And I think that's what sets up the day in the week when I start seeing those numbers drop on the scale. Like, I think, for 3 weeks before I took this week off, for 3 weeks consecutively, I was just dropping weight, and I was texting you every week going, you'll never guess what. And it was always, I've hit a new lowest weight. And that is what makes it worth it, in a sense. Like, that to me is worth waking up at 5 a.m. and having 2 hours less sleep, is I'm achieving something that I want to.
Yeah, because you're being rewarded for your hard work and your
100%.
graft.
And it's not easy, but I've always said this consecutively, like, Mondays are a great day in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, Mondays don't make anyone. I know people who go to corporate jobs and stuff say, oh, it's a Monday again. To me, Mondays are fine because you've had the weekend to recharge. It's just another day. People ease into the jobs. A Monday's a Monday. I say Tuesday is when the week starts. Because for me to get up on a Tuesday is like, well, I've gone back to my job. I've gone back to my 9-5. I'm in a bit of a routine. Now it's time to, like,
Crack on.
Yeah. And it's like that's my week start. So me going to do legs on a Monday is great because it's like I'm easing my way into the week. Mondays are fine. Tuesdays, it's a struggle because you're back in your routine. You've kind of shifted from the weekend kind of thoughts. And then if you can get between Tuesday and Friday, then you've had a successful week. And you don't have to work out 8 days a week. You don't. I think I work out 5 if I go on a Saturday, but I'll definitely work out 4 Monday to Thursday, and then Saturday is kind of if I'm playing golf on the Sunday, I won't work out on the Saturday. And we don't do on a Friday because we play Thursday football.
Yeah.
But I think people have got the mentality nowadays of, especially with gym culture, you have to work out 5-6 days a week. You have to do 12k steps. You have to eat you know, this level of grams of protein. You have to. You don't have to. I think if people want quick results, you have to do that.
Yeah.
And I've always said to you, I'm not one to do an 8-week transformation. I've been gymming for 4 years now. I theoretically, on paper, should be one of the leanest physiques ever if I've been gymming 4 years.
Yeah.
But I've fluctuated body weight, I've fluctuated routines, I've learned a lot, and I'm more grateful for that from not just doing an 8 to 12 week boot camp. Eat this, eat that, do this, do that. Because at the end of the 12 weeks, where do you go? You've achieved your weight. Now what? Do you know what I mean? It's now like, well, what happens now? Do I maintain this for a couple of years? I want to get there naturally. I want to get there over time while still enjoying everything else I want to enjoy.
Yeah, I think with the world of the gym at the minute, it's so social media forced. So many people putting up topless pictures. Like, I was bad for it because I liked all like the positive feedback that I got from it, and I was doing for the first time ever. I was in really good shape. Like, I've never been like that. I've always been skinny fat. So if anyone doesn't know, you don't look like you've got beef on you, but you've got like quite a bit of chub. I've always been that. So I always done it, but I'm now coming to a point of everyone wants to have 6-packs, but they're not maintainable. Everyone wants to go and get a coach nowadays and help them get them 6-packs, but then a lot of coaches just want results and all. Because at the end of the day, it's a business. They've got to pay the bills, and I respect it, and especially if they can do the job. But too many people don't go and work out anymore because it's good for them. They don't go and work out anymore because it gets them healthier, it gets them fitter, it gets them stronger. Like, imagine you being a lot stronger. You can do a lot more day-to-day things without even thinking about it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, for instance, I've got a puppy. As everyone knows, I'm going to say it about 4 more times in this. But he's now getting bigger. So he's getting harder now to scoop up. But because I know I'm a tall lad and I've gone to the gym and I've got strength behind me. But say, for instance, if Ash wants to try and just scoop him up, it's going to be harder for her. But if she goes to the gym, it's easier. So that's why she goes.
No, I agree. I think, yeah, on that point, obviously, I struggled training legs and mobility for quite a number of years. And also that affected playing football. I used to wake up on a Friday with shin splints, and it wasn't enjoyable, and I kind of fell out of love with the game, and I had a 2-year break, whereas now training is just getting fitter and fitter to where in the week now I will play football, I'll go do a golf lesson, and I'll go play 18 holes of golf on a Sunday, and I'll be fine for the next week, and I'll repeat that, and I'll repeat that, and it is being physically fit. And there's been times I joke about it with my family or Mill where I'm sat there and my Apple Watch goes off and says, you know, your heart rate has dipped below 40, and I'm like, just a healthy heart, that. But I know I'm physically fit, and I may not look it. I may not look as shredded as everyone else, but you know, when my heart rate beats per minute is sat at an average of like 41 to 45, I know my heart's a lot more healthier than someone who's probably shredded and theirs is doing like 70 plus.
Yeah.
So it is, I agree, it's all aesthetics, it's all for social media, and there's a handful of people who do it for the correct reasons. Like one of the PTs in our gym, shout out Millie, but I was talking to her when I went a couple of Saturdays ago, and we joke around on social media about food and stuff, but her whole aspect is I teach women to have a strong relationship with food rather than, you know, look insane and all of this. And I think that is the mentality most people need, not strictly towards food, but just being a lot more comfortable with, I do this for a healthy body to maintain life a little bit longer. That is what people need to start doing rather than look at me, I'm shredded and I'm lean, and it's great and all, but can you run 100 meters in without gassing out? You know what I mean? So there's always a great, you look great, but what's that actually achieved you? That's the mentality shift.
Because like, I'll second that to Millie and what she's trying to achieve there with her clients is now what I've realised what type of what type of coach I want to be. So for instance, on your meal plan, I've given you 12 skinny meatballs and stuff like that. I've given you 2 burgers. I've given you pasta with ham and cheese and like mayo and sweet chili.
Yeah.
They're not high calorie dense foods, but the foods that you can maintain and eat and enjoy eating food instead of you've got chicken and rice
Yeah.
and broccoli, and the next day you've got some
Rice and a fish cake.
rice and a fish cake, and then you'll have fish, then a rice cake, and then fish.
And another fish.
Yeah, but it's become such a business now
Yeah.
that I don't even know how to describe it. It's become so more money orientated that people need to have this consistent look on their body of, I can see these veins, I can see these abs, I can see these pecs. Oh my God, I can see all these carbs. Whatever it is that people are just so driven by, I've got to look good. I couldn't really give a shit anymore now of how I look. I think that's why I took time off the gym, because
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm going to go back to the gym
Yeah.
because I want to be healthy. I've got bad knees, so I'm going to go do mobility. But I want stronger legs, so I'm going to train legs.
100%.
I don't have to have the biggest chest. I don't have to push the biggest weight.
Yeah.
I'm not asked. Half years are on steads. Don't care. But there is that thing of, I think that's a big detrimental impact as well for people on social media and how it plays in their heads.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I work in marketing. You know, part of my job is social media strategy. So it is, I get to see both sides of it. I get to see why people post what they post. And then I also get to understand and realise why it's like that. And
Yeah.
I agree. Most of it's for aesthetics. And if you're doing it not for aesthetics, great. You look fantastic. But the ones that do, and the ones that always post, you know, do you want to achieve this in 6 weeks? I personally don't think it's right for 6 week plans.
It's not. If you lost that in 6 weeks, whatever they're trying to achieve, you will gain it back twice as quickly.
Yeah.
If you're not with that coach, and if that coach doesn't know what they're doing. Because for you to lose that quick, your body's got to go through so much trauma, in a sense of that's what the body does. It goes into such a shock that it's got to lose all this fat and everything's got to pop. But then how do you maintain that for so long?
Well,
You can't.
no, 100%. And I think you can actually apply that to a lot of stuff
Yeah.
nowadays. You know, take the podcast, for example, mental health. You can apply that to mental health nowadays. If you just want a quick solve and you just want a quick high, or you think that medication is the answer instead of opening up first and talking about it and seeing if that's the route, you're just after quick wins to solve a problem that stems a lot deeper.
Yeah.
Once you get that solved, you're then kind of addicted. Like, that is the only solution in your head to do. So I agree, even going to the gym or going to mental health, you've got to try and find a balance of maintaining that long lasting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has to be a long lasting period for me. Like, I'm going out tonight, I'm going to have a calzone pizza. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm going to enjoy it. But you've added, as you said, stuff into my meal plan that works for me, and I've fell in love and enjoyed the process of cooking again. Like, the amount of stuff I send in the group chat
Yeah.
with your clients is, you know, finding all these different recipes and going, guys, you really want to try this one out, or this one really tastes nice. I fell back in love with cooking off the back of a 12-week workout plan. And it's finding that type of stuff, especially with mental health. You've got to try and find long-term solutions rather than quick wins.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that a lot of people kind of struggle with, and probably one of the reasons why you've started this.
Yeah, my whole thing with this is, I think I've mentioned it on another podcast, but of course I want to grow as big as I can, because the bigger I grow, the more of an audience you've got. More of an audience, more messages, more people, and it's a positive cycle.
Yeah.
And that's always what I want. But because going back to just before, because I did have it in my head, too many people want the quick results.
Yeah.
It really triggers me. It really does. And I know that because I was there. You might have been fat all your life. You might have been really skinny all your life. Whatever it is, what type of body shape that you've had, and you want to change it, there's no such thing as quick results, because it's going to have a long-term detrimental impact on you negatively, because you can't sustain it.
100%. And I think if something comes in and unbalances all of that, like if something come in and really kicked you to the curb, it's then going to go, well, you know, what has all this done for you?
Yeah.
In a sense, like, can you still maintain what you want to maintain even when you're flat out on the canvas? Do you know what I mean? That is then when really you think, is everything I'm doing is it correct?
Yeah.
And if you're doing it quickly, you're not gonna keep that and maintain it, if that makes sense. You're kind of gonna throw it to one side and go, okay, I can get rid of that real quick. That's not a problem. I'm halfway where I'm at in terms of physique. Let's just push that finance to the side, for instance, as an example, and focus on something else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you have fell in love with it and you're doing it over a long period of time, it becomes more of a conscious concern when you kick down and it's like, well, I don't really want to give that up. Do I have to? And there's a bit more of a thought process behind it.
Why do you think people nowadays want everything to be quicker? It's more, obviously it's better for us. We want things to be quicker. It makes us happier. But in your own personal opinion, why do people nowadays want quicker results on everything?
I think it's easier, and I think when you sat on your phone in a position where you're not an influencer, or you're seeing all these people with money driving around in Range Rovers, you're driving around in the Bentley sports cars, you've got, you know, Rolexes on your wrist and these really lovely houses. People want that, so they want to mimic how to get that. Whereas people won't go and discover life for themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and say, you know, I want to take this as serious and I want to own 7 houses and own all of this, but I know for me that's not the end goal. The end goal really is for me just enjoying however long we're on this floating rock and just experiencing a lot of stuff with the people that I care about.
Yeah.
That for me is my end goal. I think for a lot of people in this society today is monetary value. So mimicking people who've already got there, who sell all of these courses on how to be exactly like them. Well, it's not, because it's going back to what I said about the video, that people start in different places. People have different upbringings, different backgrounds, so no one is ever going to be the exact same. So people want it easy and go, okay, well, you've made you millions, I want to be exactly like you, teach me how to do it. But you can't, because you're 2 different people. Do you know what I mean? So I think people want easy wins because they've seen someone else do it, but they don't realise how they've got there in the first place.
Yeah. Do you think then that, because I'm not saying anything that you've said is wrong, I do agree with it, just coming from another approach then, do you think that the people that want these quick results are, in a sense, maybe not bad people, that's not the way to put it, but like it's a bad way to go about it? Or do you think that it's good to have more of these people because more people are going to be motivated to work harder?
I think a healthy balance is what's needed. That might seem like a cop-out answer, but a healthy balance is needed, because you can go, well, for instance, we talk most days and you could be wanting those quick results and I could watch you and I could go, I don't like the route you're going down. I want to go down this route. So it makes you very self-aware. But at the same time, if you didn't have them, it could be so easy to fall into those potholes of, I want to go down this route, that didn't work for me, I want to go down, and then eventually you give up. Do you know what I mean? So I think a healthy balance of having the 2. There's nothing wrong with wanting quick results. Great, I want quick results. I'd love to win the lottery tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. Like, I think having the healthy balance of realising having quick results around you in a positive light is great. Having them in a negative light, you need to cut off, essentially, because it is. Do you know what I mean? I think that is what, again, stemming back to the start of hard decisions need to be made. If somebody is around you and just always wants quick results and is always complaining that it's not working and they just want this small time frame to be successful, cut them off. It really is, because that over time would deteriorate and be more detrimental to your mental health and what you want to achieve than just going out and doing it by yourself.
So how do we change that then? Because the world that we live in at the minute, like I said before, everything is a click away. Everyone wants the results to be quicker. If you feel down, I want to feel happy, post something on Instagram. Oh, I'm feeling quite hungry, can't be bothered cooking, just eat. Oh, I want to go and get bevy, pub round the corner, order a pub. Even like transport nowadays, we've got trains that can get from one side of the country to the other in a couple of hours because it's a bullet train. Everything seems to be quick. But where's the line drawn? Or how do we change that? Or how do we, in a sense, maybe reset it that we're hungry to go and actually get stuff again, that we're actually willing to work?
Yeah, so the word I'd use is recalibrate. I think you've got to sit there and figure out what it is you want to do.
Yeah.
Like really figure out what it is that you want to do. Because it's one of them. You could do everything you want to do, and then it's okay. Well, who's going to tell your story once you're not here? That's the end factor. Who around you is going to say they were a boss person for this reason?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you could set up the biggest tech company, use Steve Jobs as an example. People still talk about him and know him to that day. If that is your reason, or if your reason is just simply you donated a lot to charity, you've done a lot of charity work, and the people around that when you go are going to be very grateful. They might even name a bench after you, for instance. You've got to figure out what it is that you want to do, how you want to go about it, and then set yourself goals. That'll get rid of the quick wins, but it will also use the quick wins as a good example. So I know in my phone, on my notes section, I've got the next 10 years goal-wise planned out of what I want to hit in terms of finance, in terms of the countries I want to travel to, a certain weight or physique that I want to be, and even to the point of what I want to do in terms of a job-wise.
Yeah.
Now, that's 10 years, but I haven't just listed them. I've broken it down into the next couple of months, the next couple of years, and then the decade. So you've got your long term and your short term. I think having a healthy relationship with those quick wins is saying, right, well, I've got the next 3 months to, be financially saved up to go to Thailand or Australia or wherever. I'm going to work towards that. And then it's having that healthy relationship going. Quick wins are good if you've got the right process to do so. So I think trying to find out what you want to do over a certain period of time and then writing it down would be a lot of a healthier way. I wouldn't say get rid of the quick wins. I'd say it's just forming that healthier relationship with the quick wins, having them for a purpose rather than just wanting them because everyone else will applaud you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Having a purpose behind it is great, because when you achieve them, you're like, fantastic. Like I've done it for me. I wrote that down 3, 4, 5 months ago. And I did, I'll use that as an example. Getting my job now, I wrote down when I was redundant, to find a job by December. And I did. I'll get it up because I got it 2 days before when I was meant to get it. So if I go down, it's called Life Plan, and then I've got I marked them off, goals achieved. So I said land a marketing manager role by December 23rd, 2022.
I remember you actually telling me about that, or showing me.
So when I was redundant, I had it in my mindset that I wanted to go into the new year having a job, not still looking for a job. So I wrote down land a marketing role, and I gave myself till December 23rd. That interview and me getting offered the job on the spot took place on the 20th of December. Sorry, 3 days before. So for me, I can tick that off and go, that was a short-term goal, because I got made redundant in I think it was October time, maybe early October.
I think was it early? I thought it was November, personally. I
don't feel like October, November time. Yeah. But that's what I mean. So I gave myself a couple of weeks to find a new position. And that's a much healthier way of having these quick wins, because I was pretty much, I wasn't just sat there moping around. I did for 2 days and went, because I've worked since I was 16. Yeah, I've always had an income since the moment I turned 16, I had the job at McDonald's. Sustained that through sixth form of university, went into this role for about 1.5 years, close to 2 years, and then that was it. So by the time I was 23, so yeah, 16 to 23, I'd had a job, I'd have pay coming in every month. And the type of person I am, I've paid for everything by myself. So to go from that many years, that 7 years of funding yourself and being financially stable, to having no job, I took 2 days to process it and went, shit, I don't know what to do. I've got a car to pay for, I've got all these bills to pay for. What am I going to do? And then after 2 days, I said, right, make it a thing that before Christmas, before the new year, you have a job. And that's a quick win. That is, right, I'm now going to get determination to get up every day, going to fix my CV, going to find as many job roles within the region that I want to work as I can. And I remember it, you know, a lot of our friends offered me job roles in construction, in different industries that I didn't want to work in.
Yeah.
And I always said to them, in the new year, if I've not got a job, I'll take it up. But I kind of stuck with it and said, I want this specific job role. I want this. That quick win is how it becomes nicer to achieve.
Yeah. And to put it into perspective for anyone that doesn't know the story of that, you went to numerous interviews before you landed that job. It wasn't just one interview.
No.
And you landed it and you was like, first time lucky. I made it. Was it?
8 interviews I went for.
Six
So
from the head.
originally, before I got made redundant, I went to an interview the day before I got, so the day of being made, not officially, the Friday is when I got made redundant. When I got the redundancy letter was the Thursday. So the Thursday morning I went to a job interview just to test the water to see if my CV, because I was trying to leverage the position that I was in my current job role to go back more towards the marketing agency side. And my boss had said to me, but you've not got the skill set, and I thought I had. So I went to a job interview for the guy who owns Cafe Saz and Ballpark and a few other places in town. And we had the interview. He loved who I was, and he said I had the experience, so he was going to offer me a job.
Yeah.
But he didn't confirm that in the interview. He said, thank you for your time, you know, really great to meet you. And then that was the Thursday morning, and I went into work the Thursday lunchtime. And then in the afternoon, my boss called me, and because a couple of weeks before I said I wasn't happy with where I was, my position, I wanted to change it up. We had a discussion, didn't really end well, and then he made the decision to make my post redundant. And then the Friday is when I got made redundant, and then the Friday afternoon, the guy from the interview on the Thursday morning rang me and said, you got the job. So I was like, okay, well, I've been made redundant, but I've got a job, and it starts mid-November. Great, on a trial basis, 30 grand a year. Fantastic. I've got a pay rise, I've got a better job. Fantastic. And then literally over the weekend, he sent an email and said, we're no longer taking on for that position.
I remember you telling me about that. And I was so gutted.
Yeah.
I was actually gutted for that.
That was the point where it flipped upside down for me, because I was like, I've been made redundant from my current job and I don't have one lined up. What the fuck am I going to do? And it was then the case of applying for jobs, and I had about 7 to 8 different interviews that I went to all around town for marketing positions, and people were humming and ahhing, not wanting to take a chance. You know, or we wanted a bit more experience here, or we wanted a bit more experience in that department. And then, gratefully, my bosses took a chance on me, and I'd like to say they haven't regretted it since. It's been great. I've had all these opportunities, a really lovely agency, and they are the people that recognise your worth. So they've given me opportunity after opportunity to constantly learn and get better and spend more time focusing on stuff that I'd like to do, as well as what my day job entails. But it would, 7 to 8 interviews that said no, rejected. It wasn't just I applied for one, they took a chance on me, and hey ho, I got a job. It was a month of rejection.
That's why I found like that like proper admirable about you, because the amount of people that could get made redundant, especially coming up to Christmas time, could just panic and just maybe go down a different route. They could just go into the construction job just to get quick money for Christmas. But the fact that you stood by your guns and went for what you wanted is really admirable. Like, I understand...
Thanks.
You're welcome, lad. I understand that you had a bit of money saved, and people might be like, I've got no money saved or whatever. Like, I can't do that. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. But when I left my job in July 2021, I didn't have a penny saved up. And the past few months I was on sick pay because I was off, because what I was going through. I didn't have a job in July, and I didn't have a job in August. But I then also got off my arse and thought, what do I need to do? Okay, what was I good at? Not going back to Mackey's. That's not an option. Didn't like bar work. Definitely not going back to that. Definitely not going back into a warehouse where I've just been. What was I good? Oh yeah, I was good working in school. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So I tried to get a job back in my old school, and I texted the head of PE. Never got a reply. Still haven't got one to this day. It's been a few years.
When you see this, reply to the man.
But I thought, okay, so how do I get into a school? No idea.
Yeah.
Oh, they got agencies though, haven't they? Well, let's go and find an agency. I just signed up for different agencies. Got in with 2 or 3. And then one day they just went, oh yeah, the school's taking on. Do you want to go there? I was like, oh, yeah, okay then. So I went there, had an interview. And then I rang the agency back, went, yeah, they said they'll have me there. She went, okay, well, you're not part of the agency anymore. You've got a full-on job in the school now. I was like, fucking get in there. But no matter what the situation is, if you are getting made redundant or if you do leave a job, like I done, still just go and find what you want to do, what you enjoy. It's like you don't have to have money saved up. You don't really have to have a plan.
No.
You just have to have action.
Yeah, 100%. I was a notorious saver. I didn't really treat myself. I get my paycheck, I pay my bills. I put quite a lot of it into savings. And then just have what I had. And then I think since kind of maturing a bit more, especially having a relationship now, you know, I've been taught a lot more about self-worth, and I work for that money, so why would I not want to treat myself? Do you know what I mean? And that is something that comes with a bit more maturity.
Yeah.
We draw them 1-1, I don't know why.
Yeah, for context, someone's just screaming outside, singing their head off, and we don't know why.
So yeah, it's been, you know, again, still maturing. And I look, fortunate for me, I had that savings to rely on. It wasn't a difficult month, but I knew I wasn't going to cop out and do something I knew I wasn't going to enjoy. But I'm not going to enjoy construction.
No.
I've got no passion in that. I wasn't going to enjoy various different job roles, you know, family members and everyone else said they'd get me involved in. It's not what I want to do. And I think a lot of people need to figure out what they actually want to do.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
And, you know, it's credit to you. You've wanted to start this for years.
Yeah, it's been a good few years.
Not even just the podcast, the actual mindful brand. You've wanted to start for years.
Yeah.
And you've worked towards that, you've done it. And I think a lot more people need a sense of what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to leave behind? What effect do I want on the people around me whilst I do this and when I leave? And start working towards it.
Yeah.
It really is. You get one, realistically, as far as we know, one go with this. And if you're going to waste that working in a job that you're not really a fan of, and you're just kind of living to get by, yes, I understand, you know, the way in which the government is controlled and everything is hard right now for people to just pick up and leave the job. It's easier said than done. But if you put a plan in place to work towards what you actually want to do and what you're passionate about, you won't feel like it's a strenuous work. Do you know what I mean? You'll enjoy what you do every single day.
Yeah. I think a lot more people do need to do that. I always remember saying to Taft, I think it was Taft, when he started doing YouTube with us, and he wasn't really getting the ball rolling with it in terms of like views and anything like that. Comments, getting traction. But one thing I always said to him for my own part was, I'm not bothered how this does. It's just as long as I know I'm trying my hardest to make it work.
Yeah.
And it's the same with this.
And you're having fun at it as well. Do you know what I mean? I think using this example, a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes work that goes into this. The countless nights of trying to figure out how to make this better.
Yeah.
The editing part, getting guests. There's a lot of work from behind the scenes from what I've seen that goes into this
Having
project.
The world's best button pusher over there.
We got a new one, so it's not Derek.
Yeah, he's been replaced.
He's been replaced on this episode.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes on behind it, and people don't see that. But you're not doing it for the views. You're not doing it to get massive and have all this money and move to a better studio. You simply want to do because it's something that you've wanted to do for time, and you wanted to speak about mental health, more specifically men's mental health, and you wanted a platform to do that. So you created this. So then the question really is, obviously we're talking all of that and we're saying, do what you love and set a plan. From your perspective as someone who's done it, how does it feel?
I'm so happy someone's finally asked me a question on this. This is episode 10 and no one's asked me a question. Go on, say that again. I got too excited by waiting for the question. So how does it feel doing all this?
We've just spoke about you know, doing something that you love, setting goals to achieve and eventually leave something behind that you're proud of. You've, for the years that I've known you've wanted to start this, you've worked towards it, you've built your own studio, you've bought all your own equipment, you've got 10 guests on already. How does it feel that it's finally started?
A small sense of fulfillment. But like we were saying before, I'm a perfectionist. So I will always look for, no, this can be better. No, we can try and get this guest. Oh, no, we need to be pushing this more. I always do want to be that type of guy. But I remember sat in my mum's and I was on the couch in the living room and I had a book and paper and I was writing down different names. So this was originally called the How's Life podcast.
I know. I said it was a poor name.
Yeah. So, well, when you see someone, you go, oh, how's life? How's it going?
Yeah.
And the other one was the How Are We podcast.
That was it. How are we? I hated that.
Yeah. How are we?
I hated it.
Yeah,
Because I remember you made a little cartoon animation, didn't you? And you had your voice overlaid to it. It was like, how are we? But like Scouse version. I was like,
oh, no, is that the Ludo one?
Yeah.
No,
But
that
it
was
a-
easy now, my G.
Oh,
Boy
was it?
Ludo.
I hated the how are we term.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just meh. Do you know what I mean?
It was cliche with being Scout. But I'm happy with how everything's going so far, but I know there's a long way to go with this. Like, that's obviously the black and white answer of it.
I do, and I think
But
that's
fulfilled. Fulfilled so
Yeah.
far with what we've done. With you, with Derek, obviously Clayton helping out today. Joe, when he's fucking here.
Your dad.
My
Dad's been a lot of
built
this.
80% of all this. My dad built the desks, he built the benches, he built that desk over there, he done the painting. He never done the electrics because we got a spark in for that. But he does everything, like he is handy.
Yeah.
So obviously a big shout out goes to my dad for that. But it is fulfillment. Like,
Yeah.
I never thought this would ever happen. I always thought it was an idea. I always had people in the chat like Derek, Reese, Jay and that. They would always say, when's it starting up? Obviously we want to jump on. None of them had jumped on yet and it started. But I am happy with how it's gone so far. Because I could have took the easy win and just started in my room or just done something or done it on Skype or done it. But me being the perfectionist, I couldn't do that. I wanted a proper studio. I wanted a proper start at it. I wanted somewhere where I could go and I could feel like, no, this is it. I can't go backwards.
Yeah.
We've paid for all this, I'm paying it off.
Yeah.
But it's like with this, people might see the inside of it or might look and go, oh my God, he's built his own podcast studio. He can't, like, I can't do that. I don't have the money for that. I don't the poorest kid ever.
Neither did
like,
you.
I'm skint half the month, every single month. I got a loan for this and I got a loan for my car. But it worked out cheaper to get all this, all the equipment, get a car, than to just get a car by itself and finance it.
Yeah.
And like I looked at it from so many different angles.
Yeah.
But it's like I tried YouTube. YouTube didn't work. I enjoyed it, but it didn't work. Is what it is. Then I wanted to try and do vlogs. Vlogs didn't really work. And is what it is. But the idea was always a podcast. So I just went hammering.
Yeah, well, the idea was always entertainment. I think that's what people have got to take away from you and what you've done is that you can try different things to get to that end goal. You still wanted to have a platform. You've now got one. But when you get to that end goal, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So I think people need to learn you can have these, you know, you can be like me and write stuff down, but you've always got to want more after it because you can get to the mountaintop and then where'd you go? You've always got to want to keep climbing. You've always got to have something further. You're saying you're a perfectionist, and I know this because every time we're reviewing the footage, we're reviewing the audio, I'm saying we can make this better, or we can do this, or we can do this. Just getting there is, is part of the journey.
It is.
It is. Just getting there is like, okay, well, great, I'm there. Now what? And that's the excitement in it. That is the why, isn't it? Like you get there and it's like, great. Well, now what can I do with it? I've got it. What can I do with it? Do you know what I mean? So the journey to get there, fantastic. And as you said, you feel fulfilled. Like you can go home of a night, you can put your head on the pillow and go, I've created something pretty decent that I'm happy of. Now it's the mindset of I've created it. Where can I go with it? And I think a lot more people need to understand that you can get there, great, fantastic. You can put your life really in motion and say, I want to achieve this. I'm there. and then the excitement kicks in then of, well, I'm there now. Where can I go?
As far as I want to be able to take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a lot more people need to understand that, because the quick wins, the goals, everything, it sounds great theoretically. When you put it into practice and you're someone who's living that, you've finally got to where you're going. You feel that sense of achievement, and now you're going, right, next step, next step, next step.
Yeah. Because thinking about it now, from where we were saying about the quick wins, and then we go to like, where can you take this and why? I've just gone through like a quick 2-second clip in my head of like everything that we've done so far. I don't think there's ever such a thing as a quick win. Because if you get it quick, it's not a win, because you're not going to be able to keep hold of it.
Yeah.
Like, this has took a good few years to get there.
A lot of graft.
A lot of graft. But then also, since we've started it, a lot of graft.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a quick win.
No.
Like, people might see it as a win as getting your first one out. That is a win.
Yeah.
But it's took 3 or 4 years to record an hour.
One episode.
Yeah. So I don't think quick wins are a thing, and it's definitely in this world. And if you do want to become rich, you want to become famous, or you want to have this sense of fulfillment that you've done something really positive for the world, it's no such thing as a quick win.
No, 100%. And
I'm thinking about it more.
No, I agree with you. And I think a lot of people watch a lot of different influencers and speakers who always say, you know, they've went through the darkest of times to get right the way up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
They've battled so much. You know, it's like, you know, you've battled 5 armies, and now you're right on up there, and you've really struggled, and now your life's great. A lot of people think that needs to happen to them. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
No.
What, in the simplest of forms, and why I admire you and what you've done so much, is that you are just an everyday working person.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? You've not come from
built
money.
different, though.
You are built different.
Built different.
But you've not come from money, and you haven't just rushed anything. You've took years and a lot of downs as well as ups, you know, even from the financial side to the mental side, and you've finally set something up, and you've classed this as a big win. You've classed this as an achievement. I think a lot of people get hung up on looking at people with a lot of money and go, oh yeah, they've achieved. Money means fuck all.
Yeah.
You can't take it with you. It means having a lot of it's great. It can provide a lot of happiness. It can provide a lot of travel. Fantastic, and take quite a lot of stress away.
Yeah, I see money as security.
Yeah.
It gives you a hell of a lot of security.
Yeah, it does. And I think money definitely solidifies a position that you're in within society. But you can't take it with you.
Now, Tyson Fury said that in an interview. He went, money means fuck all.
Yeah.
It means nothing. These clothes, we're just lending them. Someone else is going to wear them one day. Our cars, someone's going to drive them someday.
Yeah.
That's always what it is. It buys us things that we can just lend for a long time.
100%. And that, having that mindset towards everything is, well, I'm not here for, you don't know how long. And it's like, well, what am I doing now to feel fulfilled?
Yeah.
Rather than chasing money. And it is true, because you can't take it with you, or someone will be driving my car, or if I eventually buy a house, someone will be living in that house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's always trying to find that sense of fulfillment. And you're that, for me, you're that picture of it, because you are the working lad. You've worked for most of your life. You've had your ups and downs. You've dealt with them so far.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
You know, and then you've set something up, and that for me is a lot, or is on the same pedestal as somebody who is rich and well off and has sat there and may have lost the company but have gained this one and rose. Like, you're on the same pedestal. Do you know what I mean? And that's not stroking an ego. If someone else has achieved the same way and they're just a working class, you're on that same pedestal.
Yeah, there's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about other people that achieve stuff. It's just how much do we want it.
Yeah.
And that's not even like, oh, he's born with it or whatever.
100%.
I was a lazy bastard. I was the joker in Mackey's. Well, one of the jokers in Mackey's. I was a joker when I went to Revolution. I was a joker in university. I was a joker in the warehouse. I've never been like a proper hard graft person. Yeah. It's took a downfall for me to then realise what I actually want to achieve. But people don't need to go through that to realise what they want to achieve. Yeah. And that's why another thing I've thought of when you're speaking, I'd like to use this podcast to help people like that. They don't need to go through all these dark times to be able to go, now I know what I want to do with my life because I've had to go through this shit. No, you don't. Just find out earlier on.
Yeah.
Or just try things.
100%. And I think always being able to assess on a scale
Yeah.
what your hard times are.
Mm-hmm.
They can be really hard to yourself.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
can be.
taking me for the past couple of weeks, I've been in a very vulnerable, I'm not going to say bad, but I've been in a very vulnerable mental spot.
Yeah.
But then when I put that on a spectrum to yourself or Riker,
Mm-hmm.
who was on last week's episode, nowhere near on a spectrum
But
to what you dealt with.
it doesn't mean that you still can't go through that. Like, this is what I try and tell a lot of people. Just
Yeah.
because someone's gone through worse doesn't mean yours isn't bad.
Yeah.
Don't compare your hard times to their hard times.
Exactly.
Don't compare your good times to their good times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So everyone can go through hard times, but people seem to think that the people who achieve more are the ones who go through it worse.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as worse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? On a spectrum, I feel my vulnerable state over the past couple of weeks, in my opinion, doesn't add up to what you and what Riker last week was saying. I've not been that far into that hole.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's still bad. And I think people need to understand that you don't have to go through so many battles just to achieve
Yeah.
something. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
100% what you said as well. To stop comparing your dark times to everyone else's.
Yeah. Because it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for anyone else around you. You feel worse about yourself. People might feel worse around you because they might not know how to help you.
Yeah.
But give yourself a break. That's always what it is. It's just giving yourself a break and knowing that it's okay. It's fine. Like I said, I go through financial difficulties every month. So one of my main goals in life is to become financially free. I don't have to be minted. Minted means rich if you're not from Liverpool or whatever. But I don't have to be rich. I don't have to be famous. I don't have to be shitting money out every time I go to the toilet and just earning like £2 coins in the bog.
Yeah.
I just want to be secure in life. But all that comes from, do I really want to go and work hard for it? But if it's not working out, give yourself a break. You don't have to beat yourself up every minute of every day because you're feeling down. Accept it, embrace it, and move on with it.
100%. And I think this is what I was saying towards the start, wasn't it? That, you know, using a physique as an example, you don't have to work out 8 days a week. You don't have to do 12k steps every day of every minute. You don't have to eat a certain amount of calories. You can if you want to do it quickly.
Yeah.
But for me, and what I appreciate from your training methods, you know I like food. I'm a big foodie.
Yeah.
So me being able to go and enjoy the small things in terms of food and meals out, maybe a drink here or two, guilt-free, is nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm still working hard towards everything that I want to achieve. So taking that break, and I've got a week off. I've had a week off all this week. I had a full English with you and your dad this morning.
Yeah.
I'm going for a calzone tonight. You know, having a week off is fine. Like, taking breaks is okay. You don't have to constantly be putting your foot on the gas. And I think, you know, that's where it's tripped me up previously. And I think something that yourself and a few others and Mill have really tried to drill into me over the past couple of weeks is I tend to burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
So I'll do a lot for my job. You know, take last night, I could get her up on my phone. I was sending emails at 10:30 just because I'd been out on a drone footage shoot all day.
Yeah.
And I hadn't responded, but I wanted to respond because I had my laptop in front of me. It was 10:30 at night. No one's going to respond at 10:30.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that over and done with, so I'm not dealing with it on Monday. So I like to think I work hard, but then at the same time, outside the work, I've got the gym of a morning, obviously doing the trailers for you and the podcast and the editing, and we've got a lot there. We run football. My girlfriend's in Australia, so it's waiting up to chat to her, helping my family with the house. There's a lot going on, so I tend to burn the candle a lot at both ends, and that has really tripped me up in the past. But this week off has been great because I get to just put all that aside and go, I'm okay for a week. I can recharge and then go back to it.
I think that's a much better way to live. Like, I enjoy being busy.
Yeah.
I might moan about it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't sit in there twiddling my thumbs. I'm not sitting there watching shit telly. Even though I might put something on that's really good and I enjoy it. Like the amount of times I'll turn on the game, 5 minutes later I turned it off because I feel like I need to be doing something. I think, personally, obviously it's always opinion, I think it's a good way to live because you're constantly doing something, you're constantly finding fulfillment, you're constantly finding things that you enjoy doing. Even if you might not like it in the time, but you go, but I did just help someone else there. But when it comes to your time, you go, I need a few days, need a week, need a month, or whatever it is. Taking a year off of whatever it is that you're doing might be a long time, but if you need it, you need it. Keep busy, keep fulfilling, keep working. And I don't think dark times will really come to people as much.
No, and I think when you're at that space and you're at that headset where you can say, I need a minute,
Yeah.
I need a week, I need a month, and you don't make yourself feel guilty for that, is when you're really in a great spot. Even if you are having some very difficult times, you're in a very good mental spot because you can identify that you're burning out, you can identify you need a break, and to just ease your foot off the gas, not take it off completely, ease it off. I think if you were to have the position that I've been in the past couple of weeks this time last year, it would have been 100 times worse.
Yeah.
Easily, without a doubt, because I would not have taken my foot off the gas. I would have panicked a lot more. I would have been a lot more harder on myself. Maturing and, meeting new people and having different influences this year has helped me realise that it's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's okay. And I think that is a much better feeling than what I've previously had.
It's just about self-love and self-respect to yourself.
Yeah.
Because, like we said before, and everyone knows what like social media's thing of, like, I love David Goggins. Let's put that out there before I start. But the way he goes on, that's not sustainable for everyone.
No.
It's like Michael Phelps saying, get in the pool and go swim and go and win a gold Olympic medal. Nah, why? I'm not you. Simple as that. I'm not you, David, lad. I'm not you, Michael.
Yeah.
It's knowing that self-love, self-respect, and limits.
100%. I think that's such a nice value to life. And, knowing what you want to achieve and knowing your limits is fantastic. I know that what fulfills me is going to the gym every morning and waking up at 5 a.m. and getting it done. For someone else, that could be, I want to go on a run before I go to bed at 9:30 at night.
Fuck that.
And if you can,
Fuck that.
yeah, fuck that.
Fuck
But
that.
if you are that person, feel sorry for you.
Assess your life.
Ignore everything we've just said.
Yeah.
But it is, and I think if you're working towards something that you like, then it's fine. Mill's got this tattoo on her back, and it says ebbs and flows. And I took the piss out of her when she got it. I was like, oh, ebbs and flows. And
Webs and flows.
ebbs and flows.
What's ebbs and flows?
This is the thing, I'd never heard of it before, but my boss, Rich, also says it as well quite a lot before she got the tattoo. It basically just means it is what it is. Like, it all ebbs and flows. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
It's like a little hippie thing, I think. I don't know.
Does she charge crystals?
She does. It's ebbs and flows, and I think since she's got that tattoo and she's told me a bit more about it, and I heard my boss say it, it really is. What will happen will happen. You can't control what you can't control.
Yeah.
What you can control, try and deal with that. Don't start focusing on the stuff that you can't and is out of your control. And if you can't do that, just let it flow. That's always going to happen because you can't touch that.
So I'll sum that up for you, what I live by day to day. Can you control it? Yeah. Okay, don't worry. Can you control it? No. Okay, don't worry. If you can't control it, no point stressing because you're not going to do anything
100%.
about it. But if you can control it,
Yeah,
then go and take some action.
do something about it.
It's so simple.
I think yeah, simplifying it down to that. Now, obviously, people may not see that at the time wherever they're at in a state.
Yeah.
But it is that simple. It is. Can you control this aspect? Like, if you put the situation flat out on a table, you add it on a flow chart. Can you control this? No, sound. It's off the table.
Yeah.
Can you control this? Yeah, okay, let's put a pin over there. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
We'll find a solution. Can you control this? No, right, see you later.
Yeah.
A lot of people focus on the stuff that they can't control and don't focus on the solution that they can control.
People like to be in control, though, that's why. So if they can't control it, then...
They want to.
Yeah,
Let
then
it
they
go.
want to be able to try to control it.
Let it go, flow.
Yeah.
See you later. I can't physically control you, and I'm not even going to waste my energy on trying.
Yeah.
see you later. And I think the ability to just say that's so nice. Do you know what I mean? You're not in a good spot. Can you control it? No. See you later. It's ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
I think that is also a really nice way to live. Now, by no means am I an expert or someone who's done it and it's like live my lifestyle. It's not. I stress quite a lot. There's a lot going on in my life. My mind is always at 100 miles an hour because I want to achieve, I want to achieve, I want to achieve. But the ability to just take a step back from situations and go, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't control you. Great. I don't have to. It's so nice and it's so fulfilling that you can live your life like that and just focus on the stuff that really does mean what it should mean. Do you know what I mean?
I think
So, like, if we take Mill as an example, Mill is currently away in Australia. Great. Now, I know a lot of people in my situation who have come up to ask me and went, how are you dealing with it?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Do you really trust her to go out there for 6 months? I can't control her.
That's true.
She booked the flights before we met.
Yeah.
We got together on a leap as if to see if it worked, and it's been great, but I can't control it. She's booked to go away for 6 months. I'm not going to stop her going for 6 months. You know, could she meet someone over there and potentially start a new life? Yeah. Can I control her? No. Why would I stress?
Yeah.
There's nothing to stress over, and a lot of people nowadays do that. Oh, they're there, they're over there, they're speaking to that person. If you've got complete trust in yourself or someone else or whatever the situation may be, let everything else that you can't control go.
Yeah.
I can't stop her going on her nights out or going to different hostels, doing different activities, meeting new people. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What matters is me and her moving forward together, making our relationship a lot stronger and communicating a lot more effectively. Everything else is just a blur. Do you know what I mean? I think that I'm getting excited, and because
I know,
that
so
is
you like your body
yeah,
language and
that
everything.
is-
You got a little chirp in your face.
It is, and do you know, referring back to someone that everyone may actually know that has done that was Steve Irwin. You know, and there was a really enthusiastic interview that he gave, and he said, "I don't care where my money comes from. I love money. It's great, and what I want to do with my money is put it back into different lands, different sites, and really spring wildlife up."
Yeah.
That was a fantastic way to live because he didn't care. Do you know what I mean? He was doing something every day that he was passionate about, that he loved. Yeah, great. It got him to a financial ability where he could continue it and provide for his family long after he was gone. But he loved what he did, and he didn't care about everything else that was a blur to the outside. Can I control it? No, don't care.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice way to live, and it makes a lot of stuff stress free. Doesn't make it all stress free. You're still going to suffer. You're still going to have your down moments, but it makes 90% of it not exist. Do you know what I mean?
If you was then in this position last year, how do you think you would be? Because when you mentioned it before, it really got me thinking.
Well, last year I stressed a lot. I was trying to please everyone. I just wanted to be known. I wanted to be accepted. I was worrying that I was always doing something wrong towards people. I was always going with the grain. You're referring to my mental decline so far, it would have been a lot worse. I would have tried controlling every aspect of how the past 5-6 weeks have been. And I think I would have took a lot more action. This time round, I've barely taken any action. What I've done is take a step back from things, distance myself from people. I've opened up a lot more about it to certain people and said, listen, I'm just not in a great mental space, and I've not given specific details. I've just said I'm not in the right mental state right now. And then I've took action to recognise to solve that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If it was me last year, I would have tried to control every situation, every aspect, and try and make sure I wasn't the one in the wrong. Do you know what I mean? And that would have deteriorated a lot more and probably wasted a lot more energy on those things.
So what's changed for you?
I think the relationships I have with people and watching them. So watching you, watching Mill, watching people I work with on a day-to-day basis, my parents, you know, there's a lot going on in everyone's lives.
Yeah,
and for the ability to people to go to I just don't care. Do you know what I mean? Can I control it? No. And I've started to mature and learn that a lot more. Can I control the situation that has happened and has led to me being in this declined mental state? No, I can't control it. I can't take back what's happened. I can't take back who I've lost in terms of a friendship. So it is what it is. So now it's a case of, right, don't even think about that. Try and process it. Take time to process it. Figure out what you have done differently, and then just continue moving forward. And I think that's the difference between me now and last year. I wouldn't have taken the time to process it. I would have just tried to control every situation and every outcome. Whereas now it's like, well, I can't do that, so I'm just going to take some time to process it, realize what's happened, and make sure that I don't make any of those mistakes going forward.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would change that you've done so far? Looking back at the couple of weeks that you've gone through it, or 6 weeks roughly, is there anything else that you would have done more to help yourself out?
Open up.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah, because you didn't tell me much.
No.
Like, and there's, like, I remember you put food up, and, like, obviously I came at you, but I came at you in a jokey way, but still came at you. It's like, you shouldn't be eating that. He's like, I'm not really feeling the best. Give me some slack. And I was like, shit, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I feel bad now.
Yeah.
But you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I think letting people know earlier on
Yeah.
that I'm on a mental decline was going to be key. It's something I'd definitely change going forward, 'cause it can affect so much. You know, especially Mill being away, she could sense something was off, but I never told her what it was. And I'd kind of find myself, like, if I was in a bad mental spot for that hour, or I wasn't really feeling great, it'd affect our conversation for, you know, the couple of hours that we have to talk, or even you joking around. And I kind of come back with that, and it was like, oh, it's not awkward, but it's a bit, oh, I didn't know about this, what do I say? Opening up is a very hard thing to do, and I do think that's what I'd change. Once I've identified I'm on a mental decline, guys, I just want to let you know I'm probably not going to be in the right headspace for the next 5 to however long it's going to be. I don't want to talk about it. I need to process what's going on, but just to let you know. And I think that gives a bit of relief to people. It lets a bit of air out, that you're not compacting it all up. Do you know what I mean? I was someone who religiously just bottled shit up because I just didn't want to talk about it. And I think this past year, and especially now, I'm at a point where I slowly am maturing and talking about it, but I think it's taken me too long to get to the opening up part. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what I'd change.
What part of it opening up, though, has been difficult for you? Because obviously, you know I'm doing this, so you know I'm a person you can turn to. You've got other people, you've got a good mum and dad, you've got a brother, you've got a sister, you've got good friends. I feel like I need to be closer to the microphone. So you've got all these people around you. What still made that difficult in your head? Because if it was me and I weren't opening up, I'd be like, I don't want to be a burden on people, or I don't want to repeat myself over and over and tell the exact same story to 5, 6, 7, 20 people that are asking me, am I okay?
Well, that's how you felt
Yeah.
when you were going through what you went through.
Yeah. So my question for you is that why do you feel like you couldn't really open it up? And you dealt with it, but you bottled up dealt with it. Do you get me? So you still kept it to yourself.
Yeah.
There was no release.
I think it's hard sometimes, isn't it?
It is.
Like, it is very hard to text someone and go, guys, I'm not doing
Too good.
great. Very, very difficult to say that. You know, I'll always credit one of my friends, Luke, who I play golf with him. I met him through online gaming. He now lives in Southport, and he can sense when I'm off, and he makes it so easy to ask how you're doing. And I can be open and honest with him and say, I don't have to say what's gone on, but I'll say I'm not doing great. And I remember I said it to him a couple of weeks ago. I said, I'm not doing really great, before I kind of figured out what was going on. And he rang me straight away. And I know a lot more people can do that, but I don't want to put that on them, that they have to take time out the day to sit there on the phone with me for half an hour.
But isn't that the
to
whole
an hour.
point of having positive relationships with people? Like, the positive relationships that you got, your mum, your dad, your friends, your girlfriend, that's why they're there.
Yeah.
You feel like you've got that responsibility to be like that towards me, towards Mel, towards your Tom, towards our Tom, anyone else, you would always be there for them. So why can't you let them be there for you?
I think that just goes back to the age-old thing of like you can give all this advice out, but you can't take it for yourself. I think it's something that a lot of people need to learn on, including myself, is that you can what you tell everyone you can do for yourself. I think it's just hard. There's no textbook's answer to go, here's what you say to people when you're struggling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way to put that into like a short sentence or a paragraph, or to go, guys, I'm struggling, without it being a major panic. Do you know what I mean? And I think people need to understand and realize it's hard to say I'm struggling. It's not great. Yeah, I'm saying it on camera. It's going to be on a podcast, but I've spent weeks dealing with that, so I'm okay at this point to say it.
Yeah.
But when it initially kicks off, there's no textbook's answer to text someone and go, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I think everybody feels like they need to deal with it by themselves first. I couldn't give you an answer in terms of how to actually let people know you can say this, because we've said it for years, come to me if you've got a problem.
Yeah.
Say this if you've got a problem, let me know. You just don't. You just, it is a suffer in silence moment until you're ready to open up.
Yeah. So I remember a couple of years, was supposed to have been 2.5 years ago. I text you over something and I'm saying like it went south. I'm not happy. I'm not good right now. You came pick me up when we went to Rotherspool, and like I kind of just cried in your car.
Not kind of, you did. He did.
I did. I blubbered like a baby. But I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been able to cry for like the past 7 weeks, and I think I'm a bit broken, to be honest. I've tried to cry. I've had like things going on in my head, stuff that I've been happy about. Tried to have a release. Hasn't happened.
Need a good cry.
I think I've manned up, as they say. But it goes out to you as well. It goes out to anyone that watching, listening to it. You've got to be like, listen, I can't do all this by myself. I need a hand. No matter how big of a part you want to play, how small of a part you want to play in it, how much time you can give. Can I have a hand with this? Can you give me some advice? It's, like I said, there's no textbook answer for it. But I always revert back to, why are we so ashamed to open up about our mental state, but we're so excited to show off our physical injuries? Oh, I got this big, massive cut in footy, or something that I would have stood. Have a look at that, lad. Go ahead, get that there. But then you go, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm sad. I'd been in there. I was like, oh, mate, like, I'm not right good right now. I don't even want to live. But I've got this big cut. I've got this.
Yeah.
Or someone breaks the leg. Hey, boys, broke my leg. Out for a few months. Ha.
Yeah.
But
what's the same for your achievements as well? A lot of people, including myself, post a lot on Instagram stories or on Facebook. Your Snapchat is like, I've done this, I've achieved this, I've succeeded this, I've passed this course, I've passed my driving test.
Yeah.
I've bought this. Everyone's very quick to post that, but there's hardly any stories on, I'm having a bad day. I'm doing this, I'm not doing great, guys. Not from an attention-seeking point of view of, I'm not doing great, logging out, see you later.
Yeah.
Type of person, but just to let you guys know, I'm not doing great. It's okay to, suffer. And I think that is the content that needs to be pushed more. Like, it'll go out to, we both follow Amit, one of the PTs in our gyms, and he put up a really good post yesterday off the back of his own post. So he posted and then put up a story and said, guys, it's okay to cry. It's Men's Mental Health Month. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk. It's okay to do this, and it's okay to do that. There's not enough of that content. We're all very quick to post and go, oh, we're doing this, I'm achieving, I'm winning. No one's quick to say, I'm suffering.